Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Musicians Lounge. Today I have special guest Doug Swain from Smokin Gunz, the band right here in Central Coast. Let's welcome Doug Swain. What's up, man?
Hey, what's happening, man?
Not much. He plays with Smokin Gunz, and he used to play with Fist of Fear. That's the band him and I were in previously. It was like months and months ago.
Yeah.
But that band is not together anymore. So anyways, welcome to the show. Now, I have a bunch of questions here for you, man, so I hope you can bear with me here.
Okay.
First question, I always wanted to know this. Where did you get that nickname Thunderfoot?
I was playing with a band called Nightfall with my brother-in-law, Rich. He was a bass player, really good bass player. And for some reason, they started calling me Thunderfoot, and I liked it. And other people started calling me Thunderfoot because of that. And so it just kind of stuck. And
Nice.
with people that know me and have played with me, it just evolved, and now it's just kind of out there.
Nice. That's awesome. And when and why did you start playing? What made you start playing drums? I know you were young because I remember you and I talked about the LA scene. We both came from the LA scene, there in the 80s and 90s, and everything was crazy back then. Everybody had long hair.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, when and why did you start playing?
Well, my best friend back in Florida, he started playing drums, and he just started showing me stuff little by little. And but it wasn't years; it was years before I got my own drum kit. And but I always loved rock, and I started listening to David Bowie and Alice Cooper, and like I want to do stuff like that. And
Nice.
But so basically, just seeing it, hearing it, seeing people play live when I was a kid, and little garage bands here and there, and I just wanted to do it. So
That's right on, man. Yeah, I think a lot of musicians, a lot of musicians I know, they've been playing a long time since they're like 12, 13 years old, like myself. So yeah, it's crazy how time flew. So what was your favorite drum kit of all time that you played on? What was your favorite kit? Is the one that you have that you talk about a lot?
the kit that I've always owned,
yeah, I know you like that one.
I have a Tama Rockstar kit, and I think it still sounds phenomenal. It's a 80s style, big old power toms. But I still love the way it sounds. I get compliments on the sound when I play live, and it just suits me. It just fits me, and it's just what I'm accustomed to. And I have a sonar practice kit which sounds great, and so they both sound good. But I just have not decided to invest a huge amount of money into a more professional drum kit. This does what it does. It suits me fine, and I'm very happy with it. So.
And if you had your choice right now, which kit would you buy right now if it was your way right now?
I would love to buy a chrome Tama.
Nice.
I've always been searching for a chrome drum kit, with chrome shells. I always thought that was like the ultimate hard rock drum look. For playing in a band, you got to have a chrome kit and smoke and lights and everything. So I still search Craigslist musicians or for sale, and trying to find that elusive chrome drum kit out there.
Nice. Now I remember when we jammed the Fist of Fear, you always brought that Joey signature, from Slipknot, the drummer from Slipknot years ago. He's not with them anymore, but that signature snare was unbelievable. That sound that you produced out of that thing was crazy. So
I still play that. I love that. I got that from Ray Rocha, the drummer for what do you call it? High voltage, and it's a 13-inch snare, and it just cracks. And I can adjust it. I can fatten it up, or I can just have a good old crack on that thing, and it cuts through the cymbals. It cuts through your amp.
Yeah, it did. To
They
be
cut
honest.
through the high volume of Fist of Fear. So, and I still play that all the time. So.
Yeah, and folks, we were loud too, man. But that snare that he brought over, oh my God, I was so glad when he walked in the room with that thing. I was like, yeah, he brought it.
Yeah, that's a good snare. I like that snare. It's one of my favorite snares.
Nice. And what was your first tune that you actually learned from start to finish? I know every musician today has their very first song. Mine was "Smoke on the Water."
Oh wow!
It's coming, but what about you though?
Start to finish, it'd have to probably be like "Boys Are Back in Town." Some early Thin Lizzy. A huge influence was Thin Lizzy for me. But I think a song, it was called "We Become One" from a band called Fastway. And a friend of mine brought me over to Gene Baker's, one of Gene Baker's jam rooms, and they were playing that song. And the drummer at the time was having a hard time playing it. And I went home. I had the album. I learned it, and I came back, and I wanted to sit in and play with Gene Baker with that song, and I totally nailed it. I thought, and it was probably "We Become One" from Fastway, from beginning to end.
Nice. Thin Lizzy, I remember listening to Thin Lizzy on vinyl. Oh my God, I loved Thin Lizzy. They were awesome, and
Yeah,
it's just sad that the bass player died.
yeah.
It was crazy when I heard that. So so I guess you took lessons. I'm assuming you took lessons when you first started.
Not when I first started. My buddy back in Florida, before I moved to California, he showed me quite a bit. Basic beats, just keeping time, basic drum fills, and then I moved to California and started high school, and met a guy, Tyler Jones, in high school, and we go over to his house. He played guitar, and he had a crappy little 4-piece drum kit, but it was enough to do some wood shedding. And we go over there at his house every single day for hours and just play and jam and jam and jam on stuff that we would just make up on the fly. And what was your question again? I'm sorry.
No, you answered it pretty
Okay,
much.
okay.
So who's your main influence as a drummer? I mean, what's your favorite drummer today and back then? There
Wow.
you
Well, Brian Downey from Thin Lizzy, he covered everything. He has some good swing beats, some good hard rock beats. He all kinds of different timings, good fills. He pretty much covered everything having to do with rock drumming. Dean Castronova, he started out with a band called Wild Dogs, and then he became the drummer for Journey for many years. Frankie Banali from Quiet Riot.
go. Oh my God,
I loved Quiet Riot kind of stuff.
me too.
He's a big influence, and he's done all kinds of stuff with Wasp and Blackie Lawless from Wasp. And so Frankie, I love Ian Pace from Deep Purple, very musical drummer, extremely musical drummer. Got the jazzy thing going on, and just all around, just got it. He's a tight drummer. Chad Smith from Chili Peppers, he's got that funk, good groove funk thing going on, hard hitter, and probably that's pretty much all I can think of right now. A little bit of Neil Peart.
I was just going to ask you if you liked Neil Peart's style. It
I
was
love that kind of stuff, progressive rock and all that. But I'm not much of a progressive player. I'm more a meat and potatoes kind of guy, and just solid, hard hitting, just make it rock and do what I got to do. But yeah, there's just so many drummers out there, and the new guys. There's so many phenomenal new guys out there. Just you just can't keep up with them. There's just so much talent out there.
yep, there is lots. And what's your favorite group right now?
It would have to be Ghost
Really?
of all groups. I love Ghost. Same thing. Great ballads, great hard stuff, great mellow stuff, a lot of orchestration. Um, I like the theater. Same thing with like Alice Cooper, the theatrics. I'm very big into theatrics. I've always wanted to do something theatrical. Um, but Ghost would have to be my go-to band that I always go to and jam out on all the time. So
I need to check them out. I never heard of them.
yeah, they're very theatrical. Um, I've seen them twice so far, and every show is just a great show. Great show.
Nice. And how often do you play right now? I know everybody's dealing with the pandemic right now and stuff like that. Do you still practice at your house?
I try to practice about 3 times a week. I'm busy with other things, of course, and full time job, and but mainly during the weekends, I try to really get in there and work on stuff, songs, whatever little soloing kind of tidbits I might come up with, just just different exercises. But you got to keep limber, you got to keep it up. Can't sit still for too long, or once you start getting old, everything starts getting sore.
Oh my God. You tell me about it. I'm feeling it big time. I'm 53, so it sucks.
Yeah.
But that's all right. I'll still be rocking it even if I'm in a wheelchair.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
So it don't matter. Music's my life, so music will always be there. So, and now, how many? I know you played a lot of venues out here on the Central Coast, and I know you played a lot of venues like I did in Los Angeles, where we came from. I was there too. I was there during that '80s thing going on, and then the grunge scene came. But what was your favorite place here to play at, right here on the Central Coast?
I always liked the way it sounds at Harry's in Pismo. Just the way the room is, the way the stage is. I've always loved the way it sounds in there. No matter who's playing, if I'm playing or if I'm watching a band play, it just sounds great. And it definitely sounds great from where I'm sitting up there on the drum riser. And it just has an overall really good sound in there. Um, there's a place in Lompoc that I think is the worst sounding room, and I won't mention it, but it starts with a couple initials, and but I won't mention it. But that is the worst sounding room I've ever played at. But I would have to say, hands down, Harry's would be number one. Uh, I like the way it sounds over at Mr. Rick's. Haven't been in there for a little while, but I always like the way it sounded in there. So
Yeah, I was just going to mention Mr. Ricks. I remember playing there. But to be honest with you, back in the day when I did play a lot of shows here, because right now I'm doing original music, but here at home. But I think Sweet Springs was one of my favorites, believe it or not.
oh yeah, yeah.
I know that sounds kind of funny because that's kind of like that place is. I don't know how it is now, but man, back then there was crowds there, man, and like
Yeah.
Downtown Brew was another really good stage to play on. Um, and then of course, I know you and I both played a lot back in the day in the LA scene, like the Coconut Teaser, the Roxy, the Country Club, the Troubadour, the Rainbow. What's the other one? Gazzari's?
Azaris.
Yeah.
Then there's like I played down in San Pedro at the Waters Club. That was pretty neat because you had a big waterfall behind you, behind the stage. That was your
Nice.
backdrop. But yeah, Gazzari's. That was a huge sounding room. That sounded great. Troubadour was the first place I ever played at when I moved down there.
That place rocks. That
Yeah,
place did rock. I don't know if it's still there, but it was
I
awesome.
think it is. I think it is, but I'm not sure.
Right on. And what was your worst venue that you played at? I mean, as far as like stupidity goes. I mean, did you ever see anything off the wall? I know I have. At any of your shows that you played at and any of the bands you've been in?
There's two stories. I was doing a fill-in for my buddy for his band. They're called Cutthroat, and their drummer had a spinal tap that afternoon, and it's Louis Segui. I don't know if you know Louis Segui. He does a lot of video productions and stuff like that. And I used to play with Louis in little garage bands, around Santa Maria. And so anyway, Louis called me up one night, and he said, "Hey man, you need to fill in for my drummer." And so one thing led to another, and I went over and picked up the cassette tape of their demo, and I learned it overnight. And I went to the club the next evening, so I had to learn it overnight, and did a sound check. Didn't think about bringing a carpet, and so there's a couple bands before us, and there's a couple bands after us, and so there was a carpet when I set up, but when it's time to set up for us to play, the carpet was gone, and you can see on video. And this is the second time that's happened. But you can see on video that the sound man, he's out there with a hammer and nails, putting nails in front of my bass drum because it kept sliding away. Yeah. And so
Wow.
you can see me on video chasing my bass drum, pulling it back every chance I get it. Every chance there's a break in the song, I pulled the bass drum back, and finally the guy found some nails and a hammer and put some nails on the stage so the thing wouldn't keep walking away from me. And so that was a crappy situation. Then before LA, I was playing with a band called Black Rose, and we got a gig to open up for War and Jermaine Jackson at the Santa Maria Fairgrounds. And it's the same thing. Now this is one of my first gigs I ever played live, so I didn't have a carpet. And you see, same thing. You can see on video that my bass drum is sliding away. And my good friend Kenny Ginn, who was kind of like my best friend at the time, and kind of helped out like a roadie, he came up with the idea of making a duct tape rope, and he while I'm playing, he's duct taping the bass drum to my seat so it doesn't walk away from me, and that saved the day. Same thing. You can see it on video. You can see a couple of guys from War standing there rocking out with us, right behind me. But and you can see Kenny just working his ass off trying to get that bass drum anchored down so it doesn't slide away from me. So make a note, all you drummers out there, always bring a carpet to a gig.
You heard it from Doug. Make sure you do that, guys.
Whether you need it or not, if you need it, it's good to have it. If you don't need it, and you just bring a carpet to each gig that you go. So
It's so funny. I was just going to ask you what tips you want to give other drummers that are beginning, because that's what my YouTube channel is all about. It's about beginners and stuff like that, because I do tutorials on there, and that should be tip number one, guys.
yes, and bring plenty of sticks. You don't want to run out of sticks and have to jump off the stage or jump off the drum kit and go chase a drumstick. That never happened to me, but I've seen it happen. And
Oh man.
always have plenty of sticks and a carpet.
Oh my God. Now, do you ever get nervous before you go live? I know I do sometimes.
I used to. The thing that really gets me nervous is getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting to the gig. I might, I don't want to have car trouble. I don't want to run out of gas. I don't want to leave late and just race through traffic. I want to give myself plenty of time to get there, to unload, to set up, and be comfortable. And so I really don't get. I can't remember the last time I really got nervous at a gig. I get nervous trying to get to the gig.
Yeah, that could be a really bad situation when you're late to your own show
Yeah,
and you got the rest of the members waiting on you.
yeah,
I was always there early, but I'm not going to mention any names of my previous bands a long time ago. This is like way back when, before Esoteric, before False Face Sickness, the band I was in turned into Esoteric. But there was there was a couple guys that were always late. It pissed everybody off, man. And
yeah,
we were late to our own show. I wasn't, but nothing's worse, guys, than having somebody late. It sucks. Or yourself, you got to be careful
yeah.
with that. You don't want to bring everybody else down. So,
Yes, yes, and it's common courtesy. You want to get there. You don't want to stress out everybody else, and then somebody else might have a bad show because now they're all stressed out. Hey, where is that guy? And yeah, it's just courtesy. Show up on time, and sure, life happens. Something, you might get in a traffic jam or whatever, but always give yourself plenty of time to get to the gig and relax. So.
yeah, you need to relax. But I got a question for you. Which musician in the band do you think is always late? I'm going to answer that after you answer.
Oh boy. Um,
I want to see if it's the same answer.
well, I would say a toss up between the bass player and the singer.
There you go. There you go. I was going to say the bass
Yeah.
player. Always, always, man. I don't know what it is about bass players, man, but late
I
or
guess they're so
or
laid back and got all day. I don't know. So I don't know what it is about them. Now, I'm not saying every bass player because I play with some really good, cool bass players, but yeah, they can be later than most musicians.
yeah, I honestly I think the best bass player that I ever played with that was the most dedicated was Damien
Oh yeah, yeah,
Campina.
yeah,
That guy killed it.
yeah.
Killed it. And he was, when we had that band together, our band, Fist of Fear, he was always working on the shit. Always. And he'd come back, I got the songs down, man. I got 6 ready to go.
Right on. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he was cool, man.
yeah.
But is there any tips that you want to give beginner drummers that are just starting out and they got their first kit, or like young drummers? Any tips?
If you're looking for a band, be courteous. Being courteous and polite goes a long way because people will remember that. Aside from being a jerk, they will remember that also, and they're not going to hire you if you show up drunk and just being a jerk about stuff and just learn your stuff, learn the songs, do your homework, come prepared, come on time, and just be a game player, be part of the team, and that'll go a long way. That'll follow you for a long time. Don't show up drunk, and don't get drunk unless everybody else is getting drunk. Then, but sure, have a couple beers and whatever. But
Oh,
just
you got to have a drink or two, man, before you
yeah.
go up. Or you're dead on water, man. That's the way it goes.
But yeah, just come prepared, be ready to play. Don't waste everybody's time, and bring a carpet and plenty of sticks. So
So, what would you recommend to beginners for a first kit to start off with?
probably something not too expensive, depending on uh, maybe you might start out all gung ho and I want to rock, I want to play, and then you might realize how much work actually is involved with playing drums and sticking to it. And then next thing you know, you got a high dollar kit sitting there gathering dust, and and being used as a clothes rack, and you end up not playing anymore, or just lose interest. So I would start with a cheap, basically a cheap drum kit, and see where it goes. And if you grow into it and really fall in love with playing, and then advance to a more intermediate to a pro kit. So
Right on. Yeah, that makes perfect sense right there. So, but yeah, it's I don't know. I don't play drums, but I can imagine what you guys go through when you guys play live and you're just constantly just wailing away. I mean, do you get tired if you're playing like a 45-minute set? I mean, it could be tiring, right?
oh yeah, definitely.
What's the
Got a pace.
longest what's the longest set that you played before you took a break?
I've played hour and a half, almost 2 hour sets, which can be excruciating because my tailbone is no longer uh, 20 years old. It gets tired. You get tired sitting down, and I do like having those 15-minute breaks coming up. But I think the longest set I've ever played was 2 hours straight before a break, and then another 2 hours straight. So
And what did you think of the music in Fist of Fear?
I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, I loved it too. It was awesome. You did a great job, man. I got to tell you, folks. For any all the drummers out here, Doug will be the first one that I play with, and he's a great guy, great friend, and great musician, and he's very professional. And he added so much flavor to the sound in Fist of Fear, all the transitions that you added and the fills and everything was just dead on. It sounded so freaking amazing. So I want to thank you for doing that because that made it more exciting. And I had a video. Remember, I had the GoPros out there
Oh yeah, yeah.
recording, and they heard us. I think when JD was in the band, and we were sounding great, man. And that during that video, it was awesome. And I had friends saying, "Wow, that was amazing." But yeah, you sounded great, and that wasn't even your kit.
I
That was
know. Yeah.
that was just your that was just a snare that you brought over, that signature series snare for Joey, right? From
Yeah. Jurgensen. Yeah.
yeah, Jurgensen. And what else did you bring? You brought like a couple cymbals and your drum chair.
Yeah.
That's it. But
Yeah.
you're mainly using that kit, and it
Yes.
sounded freaking
Yeah.
amazing.
And I
So
tried to tweak that kit out, to make it tune it up the best I could. But hey, it worked. It did its job. But thank you very much. I mean, I was constantly listening to the songs. What more can I do to this without overplaying it, but just coming up with just tasty fills, and just making it just cool. But the foundation was yours. I mean, you wrote all the stuff and sang and played guitars, and so when you were looking for a drummer and sent me your demo, I was like, man, now this is cool stuff. This is really cool. This kicks ass.
thank you for that.
I miss playing that. I miss
I
playing
know
Mr. Fear
I miss
stuff.
it too, but just to let everybody know that's watching this right now, Doug and I spoke, and we spoke to someone else about maybe starting another thing. And I think it's going to be actually pretty cool once this pandemic blows over, hopefully very soon,
Yeah,
because I'm tired of being, musicless. You know what I mean? I can do stuff over here, and I'm sure you play your drums at home.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I know you miss it too. So a lot of people out there miss it. All of our musician friends here on the Central Coast, and there's a lot of good musicians here.
Yes, there are. Extremely.
Wow. So my question to you is, would I be able to have Smokin Gunz on here?
You sure can. Just got to get it arranged and get all their schedules straightened out and find the best time for it. But
That
I think that'd
would,
be a great. I think that'd be a good interview.
yes, that would be. And guys, when this pandemic blows over, make sure you go check out Smokin Gunz. I'm sure they'll keep everybody informed and keep everybody posted on upcoming events. But right now, as I said before, musicians are on a standstill right now. I mean, there's nothing going on right now. So, but these guys, I seen them and they rock.
No, thank you.
Yeah, you guys.
We have 3 gigs scheduled for this month and canceled. And we were supposed to play Sunday here in Orchid at Elmer's, and that's canceled. And then I think this next Sunday or the following Sunday was going to be Ralph and Dwayne's in Rio Grande. That's canceled. And then we're going to do the car show weekend at Harry's in Pismo, and at the end of May, and that's canceled. So,
Yeah,
unfortunately, So.
Yeah, it's really putting a damper on bands right now.
Yeah.
You know, but what can you do? I mean, it's this crazy shit going on.
Yes. Well, a lot of us are. I mean, we're over it. I mean, I'm so done. I've been done. I just want to play, bring back some normalcy to our lives, and I think just getting out and playing would be great. Someplace, somewhere, and sure, it might gather a crowd, but you know what? If the crowd wants to show up, bring your face mask and rock out and have a good time. But yeah,
Nice.
we're everybody wants to play. We're all ready to play. So
I am right here.
okay.
Now,
Ladies and gentlemen, this guy is a fantastic singer, songwriter, guitar player, arranger, producer. Damn, I don't know where you find all the time. Now you're doing this thing, the Musicians Lounge, and you're doing the Musicians Hangout.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know where you get the time, man.
Well, it doesn't take too much time, really. I mean, it's pretty easy. Doing the podcast is a little tough because you got to think of what you're going to talk about. You got to have a topic and all that, a segment. But other than that, it's flowing pretty good. But I noticed after I interviewed Kelly Atwell from High Voltage, oh man, I knew I had something because I'm trying to do something for the musicians, not for myself, but
Yeah.
kind of promote musicians, bands here on the Central Coast because to me they're not appreciated enough. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And from musician to musician, I respect everyone here, everyone on the Central Coast, all musicians here. They need to be, they need to shine. Period. And there's a lot of good musicians out there that nobody talks about anymore, and it just sucks. You know, it's like we're turning into dinosaurs.
Yeah, this area is a hotbed for great players. A lot of great players out there, and there's a not much as going on for with original music. There's a lot of cover bands, a lot of bar bands, but a lot of great musicians are in those bands, and I've done a lot of fill-ins and played with a lot of good people around here, and but yes, there's a lot of good talent out there.
Yeah, and I hope that'd be awesome. If what do you think of the idea of Kelly, me, you, and Kelly, maybe a possible bass player doing something? What do you think about that?
I think that'd be a great idea.
Because I remember we were talking about doing like Kelly mentioned it, do like a country rock kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, do some any southern rock, country rock, all the oldies, old southern rock kind of stuff, with the new country rock guys, bands. I don't think there's anything out there right now, and I think it's time for that. And it'd be totally different than the same old kind of classic rock bands out there. So
right on.
Let's do something.
Now I remember you were talking to me not too long ago about this thing that you did to your kit. Would you like to tell people about that or no?
I bought a Sonar 5-piece kit on New Year's Day about 3 years ago up in Paso Robles, and it was a silver sparkly kit. And one side of it was sitting in the sun for how long I don't know, but it basically got sunburnt, and so half the kit is yellow, and the other side of the kit is silver. And it's a great sounding kit, but I decided, well, since I'm not playing out, I got plenty of time to recover it, and I decided to cover it in a contact paper. It looks like black leather, and I think it added to the sound, to the shells, uh, the resonance of the shells. They just hum, they ring in a good way, and it just looks like a hard rock kit now. It's just like black leather with the chrome lugs, and tuned it up really nice, and it sounds great. I was really pleased on how that came out. So
If that ain't rock, I don't know what to tell you.
started out as boredom, but I was just looking at the kit one day in the sunlight. The sun from my jam room window, my bedroom window, my drum room. It's like, oh my God, it's so this kid is so yellow on one side and so silver on the other side. It was just ugly looking, and so I just decided to do something about it. So
Nice. Now, now I got to tell everybody one thing because we're going to probably close this pretty soon. But Doug and Vicky, his wife Vicky, they have this thing every year, which is really cool during Halloween. And if you guys need to check it out this year. Hopefully this pandemic blows over by then. I'm hoping. But it's what do you call that? Like a haunted cemetery kind of
we call
vibe.
it the Halloween house,
Nice.
or the manor. It's not like a haunted house where you go walking in and people are jumping out at you. It's just more for getting out of your car and walking up the sidewalk and just viewing all the things, all the animatronics that are going on. There's just something to look at no matter where you turn, and sound effects, and animatronics, and it's the lighting, and it's just grown over the years, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. But we've been in the paper several times, been on TV several times, and come on out. During the month of October, the entire month of October, it's up and running every night. So
Yeah, guys, make sure you check that out. I mean, you got some talent when not only on the drums, but that, man, that's just unbelievable, unbelievable. And I always go there every year, or the last 3 years, filming it.
yes,
So I do like a video special for these guys because it should be noticed. So it's just so much talent and how long it takes you to
thank you.
prep that stuff. Pretty nuts. So, but
Are you still doing the Presence of the Unknown?
uh, yeah, kind of. I'm doing something else now.
Okay,
Yeah, there's something else going on in that department, but
okay,
yeah. But yeah, it's there, but I don't do that anymore. I do something else. It's similar. It's the same thing, but it's a whole different ball game. Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. But I'm having fun with it so far. And
Right on.
but I just been doing music just, here, because of this pandemic. So, you know, that's it. But but if you guys play Smokin Gunz, when you guys play next, where do you guys think you're going to be going to? I mean, what venue do you think you're going to be playing at possibly later
I think,
later on?
yeah, hopefully maybe in June we should have a Harry's gig, maybe another Ralph and Dwayne's. I haven't looked at the schedule lately. I was just looking at the May schedule and blocking it all out. Like, oh man, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. This whole month is just a wash for playing out live.
Right.
And so hopefully we will be able to get out there next month. and hopefully everybody else will be able to get out there next month. So.
I'm hoping, guys. I just hope we can get through this and get this project started because I really want, myself, you, and Kelly to see if we can do something with that because I think that'll be a great idea because no one's doing it.
I know. I think Harry's is talking about doing live stream through their website. So we're talking to Harry's to do a live stream so we can practice in a garage and put it over Harry's what do you call it, Facebook thing. I think that's where it goes. Mm-hmm. I know Soundhouse has already done a couple of songs, or I don't know if a couple of gigs, but I know Soundhouse has done a live stream, and there's several other bands that have done live streams for the Harry's website.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Soundhouse rocks too.
Yeah, good band.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Well, I'm hoping that we get through this and we get started with that because I'm excited about it. So, and maybe I don't know, maybe we could do a couple recordings or something. I can possibly bring my some of my recording stuff at your house, and maybe we can do the drum tracks, and then I can come back over here and I do the rest of the stuff right here. I can do the bass, do the guitars, everything, and then we can maybe possibly lay down Kelly's vocals or something, have him participate in it.
Yeah.
But there's ways of getting around this.
Yes. Yeah.
There is. So, but yeah, Doug, it's been so awesome to have you on the show. And
can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm sorry. I want to give a shout out to my wife, my lovely wife Vicky, who's been a huge influence and she has backed me up musically from day one. And all you guys and girls out there who play, who have somebody that you're involved with, back them up. Let them do what they want to do and support them. Lots of support.
That's right. You heard it. So, hey, Doug, thank you so much for joining today. I really appreciate it. And
thank you.
I'm hoping that I can get your band Smokin Gunz on here. That would be a treat. And keep rocking it and keep killing it.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so I hope I see you guys next time. But thank you so much for joining the Musicians Lounge, and thank you for watching this video. Make sure you check it out on the YouTube channel, which it'll be released over there, and it'll be on Facebook probably tomorrow. So take care, guys. Take care, everyone. Be safe out there, safe and healthy. Doug, thank you so much, and say hello for me. I appreciate it.
Y'all take care.
Peace.